Welcome to World at Work TV. I'm Allison Avalos, and I'm joined by Kim Looby from Iron Mountain, and we're here to talk about workplace flexibility. Kim, can you start off by talking about some of the drivers and the impetus behind the implementation of your program?
Absolutely. The Mobile Mountaineer program is a critical part of our corporate workforce strategy. It allows employees to work all or part of their work week from home. And there were several factors that drove us to design and implement the program. The first was we were being faced with a decision around our corporate headquarters space, whether or not we should stay in the space that we were currently residing in and renovate it or move to a new location. If we moved to a new location, we wanted to take less square footage of space. So by implementing a mobility program, we were able to create the flexibility in the space that we needed, and we were able to lower our real estate costs.
So how important was it to create a strategy around flexibility, both for the program but also for your culture at Iron Mountain?
It was really important for us to build a strategy around flexibility. We feel that it's a critical part of engagement, and it's a leadership issue that we're all faced with in organizations. The current dynamic in the organization was such that we had a wide spectrum of acceptance of flexibility. We had many managers that allowed their employees to work from home, and so these informal, or what may be called underground work arrangements, were developed. But they believe that work is truly the results that you drive, not where you sit. And then, on the other end of the spectrum, we had managers who just genuinely have a difficult time with the idea of an employee not physically coming into the office and having them work from home. They were concerned about lack of productivity, that they wouldn't be able to meet their goals and objectives, and that it would be difficult to collaborate effectively across a dispersed team.
So I understand you had a core project team. Talk about the role that they played and how critical it was to have them as part of your success.
It was essential for us to create a core project team. Implementing a flexible program takes a partnership, and for our program, it was a partnership between human resources, real estate, IT, and several strong external partners. Real estate needs to help you create the right work environment for when our mobile mountaineers come into the office, so that they have a level of flexibility that they can access the right space at the right time. And IT needs to help you implement technology that keeps people connected and allows them to fulfill their business objectives. Our external partnership were with a number of folks across an architectural firm, a project management company, but also a workplace transformation consultancy, Stegmeyer Consulting. They help organizations transform their workplace. They help organizations move to more open, collaborative, and flexible work environments. And so without that partnership, I don't think that we would have been successful.
You often hear from organizations and their evolution with flexibility. It often comes up based on a variety of needs, but oftentimes it just sort of slowly happens, maybe in one department, maybe a certain manager allows it, and it sort of takes hold. Sounds like there was a greater initiative there, though, for Iron Mountain. At what point did you decide that a larger strategy and a very dedicated team was needed for this to be successful?
I had mentioned the headquarter decision earlier. We also are a global organization. We have many functions that sit in our corporate headquarters that have global teams. So they have team members that sit all over the world, and they're supporting our global business strategy. So the idea of virtual working was becoming more acceptable, so that opened up a real positive opportunity for us. We also had lost some talent in the past because of a lack of flexibility. More and more, not only employees, but candidates are expecting flexibility in the way that they're working. In years past, work-life balance or flexibility wouldn't even come up in an interview because it was taboo. Now candidates are demanding that companies have a good answer around it. So we feel that by implementing a mobility program, which we call Mobile Mountaineer, really casts a wider net from a talent perspective. We're able to attract and retain the right talent to drive the right business outcomes.
So what type of technologies have been important to keeping your workforce connected around the world?
Companies need to make sure that they don't underestimate the amount of change management, but also enablement that you need to be thoughtful about when implementing a Flex program. Thankfully, our IT organization was already out in front of this, and we're in the process of implementing voice over IP phone technology. And this technology has video conferencing capabilities, it has instant message capabilities, desk sharing capabilities. As an HR person, putting it into simple terms, it turns my laptop really into a phone and multimedia technology, so I can be connected with colleagues no matter where they sit in the world. We also needed to implement a resource scheduling software or a space scheduling software that allows employees to book space just in time when they need it, when they do come into the office. So these technologies, and there are a lot of other technologies that you can implement, will help your mobile employees be productive, stay connected, and really drive the right business outcomes.
And have these technologies been enough to keep your corporate culture and keep some consistency around the organization, or have there been other activities that have supported that as well?
We do have an intranet that a lot of our employees have access to with blogging capability. We're looking at social networking technology as well so that you can create chat rooms of collaboration. But for right now, those were the two main technologies that we implemented. And one of the things that we have to be mindful of is that we have to, over time, continue to train people on how to leverage the technology. Most companies, when you implement some type of technology, you end up using the tip of the iceberg, and so we don't want that to be the case. So training and development is also important, not just the technology that you implement.
So what advice would you give organizations who are considering a more formal program like your mobile mountaineering program?
Senior leadership buy-in is critical. Without support from the top, programs will fail. So acceptance of flexibility or a virtual work program has to start at the top and has to really be seen as a leadership issue. Companies also need to make sure that they don't take a one-size-fits-all approach to flexibility. What works in one organization might not work in another. So assessing your leaders and employees around their readiness for flexibility is really important. You need to understand and address any concerns or anxieties that may exist across the workforce around flexibility. If you don't get that feedback, then you could have silent sabotage happening throughout the organization, or employees will just not participate because they won't think it's good for their careers. And then I think lastly is, again, don't underestimate the amount of change management and enablement that comes along with a project like this. You need to make sure that you're not only focused on helping people today, but really helping employees to sustain positive remote working in the future.
Those are great suggestions. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
For World at Work, I'm Allison Avalos.